Hey everybody, welcome back to another Raptor Junkies video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the various states and features of off-road mode in the Gen 1 Raptor. The Gen 2 and Gen 3 Raptors have slightly different interfaces, but in this video is going to be Gen 1 specific. So, Gen 1 Raptor, your normal driving, you're going to have a standard vehicle with your traction control light being off. You're going to have full stability of the vehicle, full ABS, full traction control, full yaw control, full stability control. Now, if you press this button one time, your traction control light is going to go on, and it's going to say Advanced Track Sport Mode. Now, all that's going to change is your traction control is going to be what Ford calls a performance calibration, and your yaw control is going to be increased. So what that means is your yaw is this orientation if my hand is the vehicle, so you're gonna be able to do a little more drifts, more slides, and the truck isn't going to try to correct for you constantly. Your traction control is going to be in the Ford performance calibration setting. Now what that means is it's going to allow you to have more tire slip before it starts trying to kick into traction control, but it's still going to try to activate if it's really seeing the truck is slipping a ton. Now, if you press and hold this button, you're going to get a message on here, and that message, let's see, says Advanced Track Disabled. So, with Advanced Track Disabled, that's our next performance mode. Basically, your anti-lock brakes are going to be normal, so those are still going to be active, but your traction control, yaw control, and roll stability are going to be turned off completely. So what that means is anything you want to do to the truck, you want to whip it around a corner, you want to go on a steep embankment sideways, the truck is not going to try to help you. It's not going to try to correct. It's going to let you be the driver of the vehicle and give you no assist whatsoever. Now, if you're in regular driving mode, except that this is press for 10 seconds, this will disengage over 35 miles an hour. After 35 miles an hour, it's going to re-engage its traction control system, stability control, roll control, all that jazz. Now, you have the ability, if you would like, to press this off-road mode button. Now, when you press the off-road mode button, this light illuminates and you get a message that says off-road mode enabled. You see it just went away on the screen. Now, if you're in off-road mode and you want to be driving regularly, you certainly can. You can turn this traction control button off, and it's going to say Advanced Track Disabled. You're going to have, again, full stability control on everything, even though you're technically still in off-road mode. What that means is it's going to change basically just your shifting points and your throttle a little tiny bit. It's still going to keep you in whatever drive mode you selected here, whether that's 2 high, 4 high, or 4 low, but it's going to give you full electronic assist. Now, again, if you press this Advanced Track button once, it's going to say Sport Mode Advanced Track on the dash. And it's going to basically do the same thing as it did before, except your ABS is going to be completely disabled. So you're going to have full manual, not manual, like it's still going to be power assisted, but you're going to have full control over your brakes. So doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. If you slam on those brakes, they're going to lock up. They're not going to slow you down like ABS would. And that's something you want in the off-road, because you don't have traction like you do on pavement. So you definitely don't want to have ABS. Specifically, it's more dangerous with it on if you're off-road. Your traction control is still going to be in the performance calibration feature, so you're still going to get some leeway on the traction control, but it still will engage in really bad conditions. And your yaw is, again, going to be increased, just like without off-road mode engaged. Your roll stability control is now off, totally off. The truck will not assist you whatsoever in the event of a rollover, obviously, other than the airbags going off. Now, if you press and hold this for a little bit, like we did before, and it says, what does it say, Advanced Track Disabled? Yep, Advanced Track Disabled. Now you are basically turning off every assist completely. You have off-road braking, so there's 0 ABS. You have no traction control. You have no yaw control, and again, no roll stability control. So you basically are driving a 1940s vehicle with no assists whatsoever, electronic, mechanical, or otherwise. Now, here is the kicker. When you're in off-road mode, none of these assists are going to turn on above 35 miles an hour. If you want these assists to turn on after 35 miles an hour, all you got to do is hold this button for 10 seconds, but do not engage off-road mode. If you're in off-road mode and have this held for 10 seconds, it's going to keep you locked into that non-assisted driving mode. Now, you can also turn on two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or 4 low if you so choose. if you want to lock your rear differential, you just have to pull this knob out. Now, in off-road mode, and if you lock this differential by pulling out the knob, it will not disengage your lock differential. It'll keep that differential locked in up to, according to the owner's manual, any speed. But I have heard some people say that after 80 miles an hour, it opens up that diff. But according to the manual, it says does not disengage automatically. So if you're in regular driving mode, I know this is a lot, but just bear with me. If you're in regular driving mode and you're in two-wheel drive, it's going to disengage the rear differential locker at 12 miles an hour. If you're in 4 high, it's going to disengage that diff locker at 25 miles an hour. And if you're in 4 low, it'll automatically disengage at 62 miles an hour, but I wouldn't recommend going 60 miles an hour or more in 4 low because we definitely don't want to do that. So after you've selected, let's say we want to be in two-wheel high with our diff locked in off-road mode. That's a pretty fun way to drift around in the sand. That's my personal favorite, is two high in off-road mode. And let's turn this all the way off. So let's hold this for 10 seconds. It might even be in that, I think it's already in that mode. Yeah, so if I release the button, okay, cool, so nothing happened. So we're already in advanced track disabled. So what that's gonna do, it's gonna give us all of our stability features completely disabled. That's gonna give us the raw feel of the vehicle, and that's my personal favorite. Now, another thing to note when you're in off-road mode, it's going to change the way that the engine and transmission behave. You get a slightly more aggressive throttle map. So that means when you're driving, you press the gas pedal 50%, the throttle body opens 50%. And that's just an example. Now, when you're not in off-road mode and when you're just driving around town as you please, if you push that gas pedal down 50%, that throttle body might only open up 30% to save fuel and all that. So that's just, it changes the ratios of pedal position to throttle body position. And it also changes your shift points. Now, I have an aftermarket tune on my truck, so my shift points are changed regardless of what mode I'm in. But if you have a stock tune, your truck will go into 6th gear at 38 miles an hour in order to save gas, because a 6,500 pound V8 truck needs to pass certain government gas restrictions some way, so they shift to 6th gear really early in these trucks. But if you're in off-road mode, it's going to hang on to gears for as long as it can before it needs to shift. So I hope that was helpful. That goes over our off-road mode capabilities. Let's disengage our off-road mode and all that. So let's talk about one more thing. That's our not anti-lock. I was saying anti-lock brakes. No, that's our hill descent control, which sort of acts like our anti-lock brakes, but sort of not really. So let's just press this. Now this light will illuminate on the switch. That little switch is a speedometer of a truck going downhill. Now, it's going to give us a message. It's going to say hill descent control ready. So what that means is if we're basically on a hill and we're coasting down the hill, and let's say we're coasting down at 5 miles an hour. When you're right down that hill coasting, you press that button and this truck will maintain 5 miles per hour nice and smooth. You can take your foot off the brake pedal and your truck will stay nice and smooth. Now, if you want to hit the gas, you can certainly do that. And the system will kind of disengage temporarily while your foot's on the gas. And anytime you let your foot off the gas, it'll automatically go back to that 5 mile an hour thing. Some people like that. Personally, I don't really use it. I feel like it's more of a gimmick than anything, because I like to be able to control how much I brake, how much I go, when I brake, when I stop braking. Some people like it. It's also important to note that you can only use this feature between 2 and 20 miles an hour. I don't know why you'd want to be going 25 down the back of a hill, but you certainly can. I like to take it nice and slow because you never know if you're going to hit a drop off. That's a rule of thumb in the dunes. Treat the back of every hill with a lot of caution and don't go above 25, that's for sure. But if you decide that you want to go above 20 miles an hour going down a hill, the system will disengage. And if you go above 40 miles an hour, the system will turn off. The hill descent will turn back, will just totally turn off. If you stay under 40 miles an hour and you reach the back of a hill again and you slow down to 20 or so, it'll automatically reapply the brakes and it'll take care of all that hill descent control stuff all for you without you having to really do anything. It's only if you go above 40 miles an hour that it just turns off hill descent control and you have to press that button one more time. So that's pretty much everything in a nutshell in relation to off-road mode and hill descent control and all the Raptor specific electronic stuff that it can do when it relates to off-roading. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you found this a little bit informative, maybe learned a thing or two about your truck and its various features. So I hope you have a great day and have fun in the dunes.